Greetings, this is Pete Einstein with you again this week with another thought for consideration. How would you like to free your mind and your spirit from all the chaos and the turmoil, all the craziness that's surrounding us, the fear-mongering that seems to be endless and unceasing? How would you like to get some relief from all that? Well, you can. And here's the thought. Why not go out and serve somebody? Now, what do I mean by that? We have plenty to do in our own lives. We're dealing with a pandemic. We've got a stoppage of goods and services. And service is sometimes the last thing on our minds. But we have the perfect example of servanthood in the person of Jesus Christ. So why not take advantage of that? You see, Christ was obedient to his Father even unto death on the cross as a recompense for your sins and mine. But in the meantime, during his earthly 3-year ministry, he was out serving the masses even as he was spreading the gospel message. Often he would think to do seemingly meaningless tasks, menial tasks that seemed below his station, especially as Son of God. Remember, it was Jesus himself who washed the filthy, dirty feet of his disciples. That was the lowest, most meaningless job, most humbling job of the servant in the household who was lowest on the totem pole. But Jesus did it willingly because that was his nature and that's his character. In our modern day society, we often hear the phrase, well, let's go big or go home. Well, in the area of service, we sometimes say, well, let's serve big. Let's do something really great. And in the meantime, maybe get some recognition for that. Or let's not do anything at all. Well, I want to share with you service according to Jesus. It's found in Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 and 36. And here's Jesus speaking to the people. He said, I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was even in prison, and you visited me. You see, service is tangible, and it's meaningful, and it's practical. But even the righteous folks who heard him didn't really understand the essence of what he was saying because they applied it to a direct one-on-one relationship with him. They said, when did we do all this for you personally? And Jesus replies in verse 40, as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. So how does practical, tangible, meaningful service look like in our lives today? Let me give you a couple examples. The old guy who hangs around the post office begging for money, instead of giving him $1, why don't you take him out for a meal? And not just give him the money, go and sit with him in the restaurant. It'll allow you to speak love into his life and perhaps hear his story. And it'll also determine whether he's going to use the money for a nourishing meal or a 6-pack of beer. The elderly couple, after a horrible storm goes through the neighborhood, trees uprooted, shrubbery everywhere, debris and paper in their yard and on their property. Why don't you be the one to organize a task force to go over and do for them in hours what it might take weeks or months for them to do, even if they could do it at all? And last but not least, the single mom with children, leading into Christmas when times are really tight. Why don't you get her some toiletry items and some comfort items and get some toys for the kids? You can be the secret Santa that they wouldn't have otherwise. These are just a couple possibilities for you to explore. There are many, many other opportunities. You know, years ago, singer-songwriter, balladeer, storyteller Bob Dylan had a spiritual epiphany in his life. And the result of that was an album he put out called Long Train Runnin'. And one of my favorite songs on the album was a song called Serve Somebody. Now, the lyrics of that album were poignant, but they were right on point as far as the gospel of Christ is concerned. And here's what he said. And I'll pay homage to Bob Dylan by giving you the lyrics as he would have given them to his audience. He said, well, it might be the devil or it might be the Lord, but you're going to serve somebody. And then the chorus came in, serve somebody. And I like that part especially. But you see, he was right on point, and he was scripturally sound and foundationally sound with his message. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you and I, in fact, are going to serve somebody. So why don't we put a smile on God's face as we find rest for our own souls and serve God even as we're serving others in need? That's another thought for consideration. If you'd like to find out more about our ministry, SonPower, SonPower Ministries, and the services we may provide you in your church or your organization, please give us a call. We provide music and preaching, evangelism, and I have written a book called The Inmate Within, and we do book tours and signings. It is a action-adventure saga of 25 years behind prison bars. So the information for you is on the screen. Please feel free to contact us. And until next time, go out and serve somebody.